All right, I'm currently on the phone with Christian. He's another musician that reached out about the interview sessions going on. So I'm going to go ahead and give him the chance to introduce himself.
Y'all, my name's Christian Steadfast. I also go by Christian Steadfast Love, which is another word that I needed to add into my life so people know what I'm about. Christian Steadfast is a artist name I've come up with that is in the realm of rock, country, pop, R&B. I'm trying to take Nashville pretty much around the world with an alternative edge to it. I love what they do, and they represent such a great format. So Christian Steadfast is that. Christian Steadfast Love is that next level where I'm a business. I'm an entity. And I do clothing. I do designs for shoes. I also I write. I'm a writer under CS Love. And there's a lot of things in my life right now as an eclectic artist and dynamic musician that I'm trying to bring to the table here. Really, I'm just building a stage for other artists to have an opportunity to get seen and heard. So I'm working diligently so that I can plant seeds so that other people have an opportunity to have good soil to be in down the road.
Awesome, that's great. I can definitely relate to that. That's one of the motivating factors why I started this whole interview series. But about you, let's talk about how you first got into music. At what age did you find music? What about it appealed to you? Why did you want to pursue a life with it?
I can remember being a young kid and growing up in the church. And I'll tell you, I disdained music when I was young. Like, oh God, Sunday again, these songs again. Oh Lord. And it was rough for me. And I remember there was a traveling band that had come through my church one day. It was like an evening event. And my parents had me brought in. I'm like, oh, here we go. Another church event. Fantastic. And I go in and these guys just rocked the house. And I was just torn in half. Like, what just happened to me? And I heard music that I actually could feel and vibe with. And I think at that point, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew I wanted to be on stage. I knew I wanted to play and sing. At 7 years old, I had my hands up ready to rock and roll. And it's never really stopped since then. I've been developing myself as an artist independently ever since that first flavor like hit my mouth.
Okay, well, let's talk about what the next step was there. Once you identified that you needed it in your life, that it had that power over you, what was your next step? Did you start learning guitar, other instruments? How did you take that first step?
So back then, I didn't really have an opportunity in house where my parents were really behind me in a lot of these things. So instruments and lessons and stuff was not really up my avenue. I wasn't finding that as an opportunity. So I had to go into my own state. One thing I could do is I could sing. And I used to record on this old tape deck that the radio would come through, and I would record and make my own, my own hits. I'd go back and I would sing to them, sing to them, sing to them. And so for me, it was more of just like, what can I control as an artist? I can control vocals and singing and performing. But really, it didn't take for probably a good 10 years before somebody else heard me and asked me to get involved musically into a band. And that's really where it started for me around 19 years old.
Okay, so there wasn't kind of a seminal moment where you picked up an instrument. It was more participating in, I want to say, church choir. Correct me if I'm wrong. No?
Yeah,
Okay.
I didn't have any of that, man. Like really, it was just me at home. It was a secret. Like it was like my dirty little secret. Nobody knew I could sing. Nobody knew I was working on things. I'd go into my closet and listen to my music, put headphones on. It was.
Did your parents generally discourage you from pursuing that?
Well, this is the thing, man. The type of music that I wanted to rock and roll with wasn't exactly the right fit for church, if you know what I mean.
Sure.
I was listening to Metallica and Megadeth and, Stone Temple Pilots. And then I started getting into hip hop and, Biggie Smalls and Tupac. And it was not something that was encouraged throughout my adolescence.
Okay. Completely hypothetically, do you think your parents might have been on a different page about it had it not been secular music?
I think my mom, most likely, she's always encouraged me as a singer. She didn't encourage my choices of music. But yeah, I think that would have been a different story if I was picking up worship songs and hymns and playing with the church. My father, on the other hand, I don't think he had any interest in me walking down that road. He wanted me to be a business major and do 9 to 5, which never really fit for me.
Sure. Okay, so let's kind of move forward a little to the point where you're finally kind of getting the recordings out of your closet, so to speak. Once you kind of got invited into that other musical project, how did that go for you?
Man, it was like a dream come true, man. I walk into this place, this guy's listening to me. He was in my computer's class and he just hears me singing all the time and begs me to come over. And I'm like, I'm not really a singer, man. And I walk in there and there's a drummer, there's a bassist and my buddy's guitar, and they start playing music. I start writing down lyrics, and within a week, I'm already got 3 songs we're working on. So it was like everything was waiting for it just in the queue, and the opportunity just it all met just exactly where I wanted it to.
Okay, and is that the band that you're currently in, or did you end up going through a couple iterations of bands? What happened there?
Oh man, I mean, to be honest with you, man, for me, I've always realized, even through that project, I'm a solo artist. I started teaching myself instruments because I couldn't wait any longer. I went with guitar to bass to drums. Now I just make my own beats, my own sound. I still work with some of those guys. My guitarist, his name's Jerry Garcia. And I always like telling people my guitarist is Jerry Garcia. And they go, "Do you Jerry Garcia?" And it's like, well, if you know anything, no. So
Hey,
it's been one
Jerry
of those
Garcia.
things. Yeah, exactly. But I still work with the man. He's into rock metal. I'll cue him. He's in a band called Black Butterfly he's working with. I'm more the consultant side of a lot of musicians now. But for me, I'm really enjoying the fact that that was my origin story. Because if it wasn't for him and that opportunity, I might not have even picked up an instrument in the first place. I might have went straight into business and still been doing accounting today.
Okay, so tell me where you're at now. Obviously, you've moved on to being a solo artist. Are you in the Nashville music scene, working with that? Tell me kind of what your current project is.
So I'm a little bit more of a beast than I think Nashville's ready for. I'll be honest with you. I think in a lot of aspects, I'm a little extra, and it makes it tough for me to sit in any platform. But I've been connecting with that group, and I say that group. I mean, I'm walking towards Nashville. I say I'm an aspiring Nashville artist because it's just not my season yet, and I'm still walking through that. But it will be. Right now, I'm in Minneapolis. I came out of Boston and Florida a little while ago, but I'm home base in Minneapolis. After we lost Prince, I decided this is where I'm going to build. That's kind of more my format, being that I'm not this typical country. I do a little bit of everything. So right now, my projects are working on getting performances put together so that bands can play. And once I get bands playing, I get an opportunity also to perform, right? So it gives me a stage to kind of do my thing depending on what it is. But really, right now, as a musician and an artist, I really just want to just keep building venue opportunities, right? Getting people out there who want to play, getting people out there who want to listen to people play. And I want to do it here so that when I do head out to Nashville, I'm more prepared for that level. Those guys are serious players. And for me to come in there, I don't want it to be a gamble. I want to take the risk out of it and know I'm in the right space at the right time. And that's what I'm working on right now, refining my craft.
Sure, that definitely makes sense. But about kind of you specifically, about the projects you're doing, are you recording and releasing? You mentioned through all that you are playing in these shows as well. So is that also solo singer songwriter, or is there a band lineup?
Yeah, so the last 3 months, I started putting together a backup band. I've been writing my own tracks, recording some. I brought a producer in. I've had some recent issues when it comes to copyrights and getting the proper channels set up. And this is some of my my adolescence in this, right? I didn't get the paperwork signed early, so now I have all these tracks. I'm not at a point to release yet until everything gets legally put together. So I encourage anybody, if they're playing out there and they're working with people, get your documents placed out, get agreements signed, make sure that things are getting set in writing so that you're not sitting here like me a year after doing all the work and not being able to utilize any of it. So I'm writing songs right now. I'm recording songs right now, and I'll be releasing songs very soon. My plan is 2024. Come out as a full Christian Steadfast artist with tracks ready to go for Nashville. And they're already written, and they're just now I'm taking my time to get them to sound as I want them to. I'm playing everything on them. So that takes a little bit longer, than just, getting a couple going in the studio and having a studio band fill out everything else.
Yep, absolutely. Cool. So, tell me about a couple of your most prominent memories that you have surrounding music, whether it was a show you went to that was, motivational to you, or, another impactful event that kind of just keeps you going.
So I had an opportunity to play in front of 5,000 people at a concert as a singer with a choir behind me, and it just wasn't me. It was something I was doing with another group, another entity, and it felt so great to be able to perform at that level I wanted to, but it felt so wrong to not be doing it as I am. So that motivation in the space has put me where, hey, I'm never going to be on stage again playing somebody else's music. And it put me back into a space where I'm like, you know what? I got everything that I need. If I just do the work behind it, it will come to fruition. So that's where I'm at right now. I'm definitely looking to build bigger platforms and bigger stages every chance I get. But I understand it's a process. I don't want to take a shortcut, because that's going to get me most likely to a dead end.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm happy to be here, man. I'm happy to be with what I'm doing.
Sure.
I'm glad that I get to play music and I get to, have an opportunity to make money doing it. But at the end of the day, it just is a huge part of me. It's not something I could walk away even if I wanted to.
I know, and that makes sense. And your strategy for getting aligned with it, I think, makes a lot of sense as well.
I'm bringing other entities in. I started DJing, bring another kind of style into the game. I go by DJ GJ, which is Graffiti Jesus. And I'm bringing love in a different way around the world, and there's a lot that comes with me. It's one of those package deals that, like, people just don't believe me when I start telling them the 2, 3, 4, 5 things I'm working on. They're like, oh, okay. But they're all happening, man, and I'm happy that you're doing what you're doing, because if it wasn't for people like you who gave a crap about people like me, we wouldn't even get a chance to be heard by people who want to hear us. So I'm excited, man. I'm excited to have an opportunity to just play music.
Awesome. On that note, where can people check you out and, come see you play and listen to the stuff that you're going to be releasing?
So right now, we're going to be rebuilding some platforms for my entity. But as of right now, Instagram's really easy at Christian Steadfast. Same at Facebook, Christian .steadfast. I have other entities out there that will be building up Christian Steadfast Music, and that's going to be like the new Facebook, new Instagram, more that professional level. But as of right now, yeah, just find me on Facebook and Instagram. It's the easiest way to go. And whatever it is that you guys are looking for, if you're a musician out there and you're looking for some help, just know that's what I do. I'm a consultant first and foremost. I want to help artists get to places that I wasn't able to get alone. So reach out anytime. That's what I'm here for. Much love to everybody in that sense,
Along those lines, what is a message that you think people should hear that resonates with you?
Love is the key to open all doors. And if we're going to sit here and focus on self, most likely we're going to be behind a door. But if we want to walk through that door in love and realize that we're providing something for others, more doors will open. It won't just be us looking through windows of opportunity. It'll be us be able to walk doors because there's somebody on the other side. So at the end of the day, give love, share love, be love.